Hey guys, welcome back to English is Easy. This is the channel where I teach English through telling stories in a very slow and clear voice. Today, we have 3 stories for you, and these are very different than what we normally read. I've taken these 3 stories from a subreddit called Am I the Asshole? And I don't know if you guys ever go on this website, if you ever use Reddit, but let me explain very quickly what Am I the Asshole is. People will submit stories to this subreddit all about a problem or an argument, a conflict, a confrontation that they've had, maybe with a friend, maybe with a family member or a coworker. And here's what happens next. After describing the disagreement, people will go to the comment section and decide who is the asshole in the scenario, in the situation. They will decide if the person writing the story is wrong or if the other person in the story is wrong. They will say who is the asshole and who is not the asshole. So after reading these 3 stories today and learning some useful language, some useful phrases in the stories, that's exactly what we are going to do. We are going to decide in these stories who is right, who is wrong, who is the asshole. If you are ready to dive in, I have a small favor to ask first. Just make sure you've clicked like on this video. Make sure you are a subscriber of the channel so you never miss another video. And maybe even leave me a comment. These things help with the YouTube algorithm, and they are really important for new, smaller YouTube channels like mine. It's the best way to support me as your YouTube English teacher. Okay, jumping into the first story. First, I'm just going to read the story. So let's take a look. Let's take a listen to vegan challenges in a bacon-loving home. Dad here, an old fart, loves his daughter to pieces, but I'm struggling to see eye to eye with my teenager and wife on this one. We've always been a meat-eating family. We live in the rural Midwest, and bacon for breakfast is pretty much a given. This year, my 14-year-old daughter decided to go vegan. I jumped onto her support team with enthusiasm. We learned how to substitute ingredients, cook new things, and try new recipes. I even adjusted our budget to include more expensive vegan substitutes for her. None of this was a problem for me until recently. She saw me cook bacon in a pan and then rinse it out to load in the dishwasher. She exploded in anger. Teen years. I'm not too fussed about the anger explosion. I know she doesn't mean it. She said that was her pan for vegan food. I was completely floored and said, "Kiddo, this here is a family pan, older than you. It's not your pan." She asked me to buy her a pan that she can solely use for vegan food. I didn't want her to feel weird about food, so I said sure, and ordered her a few colored ones just for her. The reason they're colored is to help me remember not to touch them unless I'm cooking vegan. That wasn't good enough. Now, apparently, the dishwasher is contaminated with animal product, and the fridge has bacon grease fingers on it because I eat bacon and then touch the fridge. She's asked me and her mom to completely stop eating meat at home. I don't mean I literally touch the fridge with greasy bacon hands because I wash my hands, but it's clearly enough that it upsets my daughter. Frankly, I'm on team hell no. Her mom is much more amenable and strongly wants me to consider taking our daughter up on the request. My wife's reasoning is that both our parents live close, so we can eat meat products there. and she doesn't want our daughter to feel uncomfortable in the kitchen. My daughter says she is fine with cheese and butter in the fridge, but meat products specifically make her feel sick. Now, I'm sorry for her, but I feel like she just needs to adapt and live side by side, because I'm not going to stop eating bacon in my own house. Okay, taking a look at a couple useful phrases we just saw in that story. First, we have see eye to eye. It means you agree with someone or share the same views, like, I'm struggling to see eye to eye with my teenager and wife on this one. Right? In the story, the narrator, the person telling the story, he's struggling, having a hard time seeing eye to eye or agreeing with his teenager and wife about the vegan issue. Here's another example. We finally see eye to eye on where to go for our family vacation. Yeah, maybe before they couldn't reach an agreement, but now they do agree. Everybody is on the same page. Everybody sees eye to eye. Another useful and commonly seen expression is hell no. It's a strong refusal or rejection. Frankly, I'm on team hell no. That's what this dad said in the story, right? He's on team hell no. If you say, I'm on team yes, I'm on team no, that's just sort of a creative way of letting people know your opinion on the matter, your opinion on the issue. When asked if he wanted to work overtime on the weekend, John said, hell no. So it just means no, but it's a stronger way of saying absolutely not. And it is swearing, so don't just use this anytime, anywhere. It has to be used amongst good friends who wouldn't be offended at that kind of language, right? One more expression we saw in the story was live side by side, to coexist peacefully or tolerantly. Coexist. Exist together without issues, without qualms, right? I feel like she just needs to adapt and live side by side. We saw that in the story, the dad talking about his vegan daughter. Even though they have different opinions, they have learned to live side by side without any issues. Okay, here's the big moment for story number 1. What do you guys think? Who is the asshole in this situation? Is it the dad or is it the daughter? You can let me know for story number 1 down in the comments. Moving right along to story number 2, the title is Dad Jokes and Rebellion. Am I the asshole? Do you guys know what a dad joke is? A dad joke is like a really dumb or silly or stupid joke that makes you roll your eyes, right? So I think we're going to see that in this story. It begins with a note. My stepdaughter, Madeline, was about a year old when I married her mother, Jessica. Madeline's father died before she was born, so that's a note before we get into the story. Madeline is currently 15, and she's rebelling against almost everything. She did something bad, so while picking her up, I set a punishment for her. Then she said, "You are not my dad. I don't have to follow you." Honestly, I got a bit hurt by that, but I understand that she didn't mean it and that she'd probably change. I just replied, "I'm still your legal guardian for the next 3 years, and as long as you are in my house, you have to follow my rules." That happened about 2 days ago. So our family was going grocery shopping when Madeline said, "I'm hungry. I need food." I decided to be extremely cheeky and said, "Hi, hungry. I'm not your dad." My son started to laugh uncontrollably. My daughter was just quiet with embarrassment, and my wife was berating me not to stoop down to her level. I honestly thought it was a funny dad joke, and my son agrees, so am I the asshole? Edit, I did adopt her, so legally I am her parent. In the story, we saw this dad joke. Hi, hungry. I'm not your dad. So what is going on with this joke? It's a playful response to someone saying they are hungry, combining a classic dad joke with a reference to not being her biological father. She said, I'm hungry. And the joke is, it's like she's saying her name is hungry. Like my name is Connor, right? I say, I'm Connor. She says, I'm hungry, right? So the joke is, that's her name. Her dad says, hi, hungry. I'm not your dad. Is that too far to say that, to make that joke? Is that too much? Take a look at this sentence. I decided to be extremely cheeky and said, hi, hungry, I'm not your dad. In this sentence, we see extremely cheeky, right? That's an expression meaning mischievous or a little bit naughty. Maybe you go out and you're going out for dinner and a drink with your friend, and you have the dinner, you have the drink, and then you say, you know what? I might get a second drink because I'm feeling a bit cheeky. It's just another way to say a little bit naughty, a little bit mischievous. When she said she was bored, he responded, hi, bored, I'm not your dad, making everyone laugh, right? So that's kind of the dad joke that we're dealing with here. Up next, we have stoop down to her level. Okay, it means to lower oneself to someone else's less mature or inappropriate behavior. The context in the story was, and my wife was berating me not to stoop down to her level. His wife was berating him. That means yelling at him, getting angry at him, getting upset at him, right? She doesn't want him to stoop down to her level. In other words, the daughter's behavior is immature, and the wife thinks the husband should take the high road. She thinks the husband should take the high road, do the right thing, and have mature behavior instead of also acting immature and stooping down to her level. Here's another example. Even though he was angry, he refused to stoop down to her level and remained calm. One more expression we saw in the story was rebelling against almost everything. If you rebel, then you resist or defy the rules and authority, right? Teenagers do this a lot. In the story we saw, Madeline is currently 15 and she's rebelling against almost everything. So she is pushing back against authority. Maybe she's rebelling against her parents. Maybe she's rebelling against teachers at school. Any kind of, we call them authority figures, people in positions of power. She is pushing back against them. As a teenager, he was rebelling against almost everything his parents said. How about you guys? Did you rebel a lot as teenagers? Were you rebellious teenagers? Okay, the moment of truth. For story number 2, we need to make a decision. Who is the asshole in this scenario? Is it the daughter? Is it the father? Let me know down in the comment section of this video. One last story for today. The title is, Would I Be the Asshole for Saying No More Gifts? Okay, my husband is a horrible gift giver. It's gotten to the point that I dread my birthday because I know I'm going to be let down. This Christmas was the final straw for me. I got him a bunch of personal things that I knew he would like. He got me a tray for the microwave so I could heat up our 2 kids' plates at the same time, and a book about horrible moms. I had a baby 2 months prior. It felt like such a slap in the face. I gave him ideas, sent him links to 3 rain boot options, tickets to a show I want to see, a massage, even chapstick. But nope, bad mom and something for the kids. Half his gifts to me now are gifts for the kids. It's not a money thing, just a show you care about me thing. Not that you found something on Prime. Would I be the asshole if I said no more gifts between us? So the wife in the story, she's thinking about making a big decision and saying, okay, that's it. No more gift giving between us. Would she be the asshole if she made that decision? Before we decide who's the asshole, let's take a look at some useful phrases. Number 1, we have final straw. It is the last in a series of irritating events that leads to a loss of patience or a decision to change something. So in the story, we saw this Christmas was the final straw for me. It means it was the last bad thing that broke the camel's back. That's the full expression. The straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe a lot of bad things are happening, right? And then one last bad thing happens and you break. You say, I can't take it anymore. So in the story, Christmas was the final straw for the wife. She'd been putting up with his behavior for a long time, but then Christmas happened, and that was more than she could take. Another example, when he missed our anniversary dinner, it was the final straw for their relationship. Another useful expression was slap in the face. It means a rude or insulting action or remark. A remark is something you say, right? In the story, she said, it felt like such a slap in the face. Yeah, so basically it's an action that feels very insulting, feels very rude, right? Maybe you work at a company for 20 years, and to celebrate your 20th year anniversary working at the company, they give you a little pen. A tiny, cheap pen for 20 years of work. It seems rude. It seems insulting, right? It's a slap in the face. Not getting invited to the party was a real slap in the face. Yeah, everybody else got invited. Why not me? It feels rude. It feels insulting. It feels like a slap in the face. One more expression we saw in this last story was show you care about me. I think we probably know what this means. It means to demonstrate affection or concern for someone. In the story, she said it's not just a money thing, it's a show you care about me thing. In other words, she's not worried about how expensive the gifts are. She doesn't need her husband to spend a whole bunch of money on her. No, she just wants to know that he cares about her, that he's been thinking about her. A thoughtful note can show you care about me more than an expensive gift. Okay, guys, let's make a decision for story number 3. Who is the asshole in this story? Is it the husband for giving bad gifts, or is it the wife for considering ending the gift-giving tradition altogether? You can let me know down in the comments. Guys, this episode was super fun to make. Let me know what you thought. Do you want more episodes like this, taken from real websites, taken from real stories and real comments that real people have made? Or do you prefer my videos where I tell fictional stories? If you want to keep studying, if you want to keep learning, here's a video you can watch next. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you there.